Yeah. Now, Crystal Maiden, I think, pairs very well with the Brewmaster. He's somebody who likes to spam spells during the laning phase, so a little bit of extra mana to work with will go a long way here. And the Anti-Mage counterpick on the Wraith King. Now, this one is very interesting to me. It goes great against the Brewmaster. It's amazing against the Wraith King.
Yeah.
You can counterspell out Crystal Maiden trying to Frostbite you, so you're able to blink away pretty easily. Once you have your Manta Style, you're on. I'm surprised they let this one slip through here. There's a very heads-up pick there by Felt.
Yeah, this is a pretty rough anti-mage pick for the side of Jiang Hu. Like like you said, I don't know if it was just a complete oversight if they didn't realize that this hero was still in the pool, but like you said, it's fantastic against both cores currently on the side of the Dire, and there's not a lot that you can do to lock this hero down. I mean, you have Frostbite Arrow or Wraithfire Blast Arrow, but Counterspell is so easy at allowing you to get out in this game. And once you have Manta, it's pretty great.
Yeah, well, you can just counterspell it out as the Fire Blast flies towards you, which makes it an excellent counter to the Wraith King in that way. The CM is a little bit harder, but you can usually predict, like, as soon as she comes up onto you, he's going to counterspell. As soon as she comes within cast range, you just activate it and then blink away. They're going to need something better to lock down this anti-mage here. Again, it feels like they really messed that one up, letting that one through the pool and picking up Wraith King there when they hadn't picked a carry yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, last picks coming out here. Void Spirit banned out by Felt. I'm all right with that. I've been saying lately, just whenever you're in doubt, whenever you need something to round out your draft, and you don't need a frontliner, you don't need a very heavy lockdown, pick up a Spirit hero. You know, it rounds out things very easily. They're able to get onto the back line, let you pick off Crystal Maiden, let you pick off Grimstroke. Sorry, so they get rid of that one there. It's also pretty good against OD. You know, having the 2 charges of the Resonant Pulse, being able to silence out the hero. His DPS is significantly reduced when you have the silence add-on to him. And he doesn't really like going out of his way for his BKB. He will eventually as the game goes on, but it really slows down your farm and your ability to fight and do damage.
One of the other things too with OD is you're always going to be like channeling that Meteor Hammer right on the Astral, and it's so difficult to do against a Void Spirit because Remnant is just like the easy disable. You typically go the Yules as well, and he has incredible gap close, so it makes it more difficult to set up that combo as the game goes on, and you have to frame perfect land it on a Void Spirit, like otherwise he just assimilates or your Astral steps away. So it is one of those heroes that just is a nuisance to deal with. As the OD.
They also get rid of the Templar Assassin here. Now, I did have a couple of notes about both these teams and their players, but Templar wasn't one of their specialties. There's a couple people in Division 2, namely Ray Lalisa and A and B, that are Templar Assassin specialists, basically. So that's a hero a lot of people are going to be paying attention to here in Division 2, but not as much here, and I don't think Templar Assassin is a major threat. It would play a very quick-paced game, which you're happy against the anti-mage, but not the biggest threat. I think right now you should be more worried about things that can either silence or lock down the AM. But they got rid of the Void Spirit there, and so they're not as worried about that now. Jiang Hu using the last of their reserve time, thinking about things that they don't want to play against, getting rid of the Death Prophet, which is rather interesting because we already have an Outworld and anti-mage pick. Outworld has been seeing play outside of the mid lane, though.
Yeah, I think it's most likely their plan here is to run the OD in the off lane, and then they would have picked some sort of tower push from the mid lane. DP would have offered quite a bit of that, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on OD being played in other ways? I know some people have gone as far as putting him in position 5 recently, which is a bit much in my opinion.
I don't think about that the position 5 is good, to be honest. I think it's incredibly greedy. There are certain things that you can get away with, but I don't think position 5 OD is one of them. Yeah.
That's fair enough. I'm in the same boat as you. Getting rid of the Death Prophet, you know, that's your early game tower push. That's your early game team fight. They're really pressed for making space for this anti-major, and that is one of the heroes that is going to do it. It's something that slipped by. You've got 2 strength heroes here. Your CM is not going to be able to do nearly as much damage. Timbersaw feels great.
Yeah, this is a really good pick.
I guess you could say that they felt this one out.
Yeah.
10 seconds remain.
Don't worry, you're stuck with me the entire season.
Dude, this is not what I signed up for. Someone give me out. Unbelievable.
What are you feeling last here
Oh,
for
man.
Jiang Hu? We're gonna need a mid hero here. It seems you can run the Brewmaster mid or the Marana mid, but it's like all right. We got the Queen of Pain. That one I do like. Outworld is going to struggle a little bit getting those Astral Imprisonment off just because of the range of the Queen of Pain, and you do have heavy burst potential. It gives you a lot of ability to kill the Timber Saw. A lot of time he goes uncontested. Queen of Pain, tons of magical burst, the pure damage burst from her ultimate.
Yeah, this
Suddenly
is a really sick last pick. I think in general, it's one of those heroes that does always pretty well against the OD. You don't want to be, we talked about it earlier, you don't want to be astraling defensively constantly, and now you're pretty much forced to dodge out the dagger spam. She just has a better attack animation, has gank potential. Yeah, this definitely helps them quite a bit.
Well, what Queen of Pain will do a lot of the time when up against range heroes is she'll max out the Scream to farm a little bit faster and to contest CS a bit easier. We'll see what D decides to do here, though. You do have a little bit more kill potential, potential harass Outworld out of the lane if you max out your dagger. Once he puts that Astral Imprisonment off of cooldown, you can use the dagger to harass him. So I do like it quite a bit. Not as much as I like the Timbersaw last pick coming out here from Felt, but Queen of Pain does feel very good here.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But here we go. Game number 1. Both these teams first showing here.
Super excited, man. Very excited. Both these teams, like you said, first time here on the DPC. And this is honestly what I was looking forward to most of all. Seeing a bunch of new teams kind of come out of the woodworks. Seeing, who has prepared better than anyone else.
It was a little bit difficult for me to get notes on these teams. I'm excited for Justice, though. Apparently, he's been playing competitive for a very long time and has been sitting at a high rank for a long time. So for him to get his first showing on the big stage here, the Dota Pro circuit, I'm very happy for him. Hard work, finally paying off, so to speak.
Got an immediate 4-man smoke here coming out from the Dire. And they're going to head into the triangle. Honestly, not a bad rotation to start it out, but they're going to walk into OD. He will scout this and... Whoa. Maybe he decides to go the wrong way for a moment as the Wraithfire Blast does come out, sets up for a very easy arrow with the dagger there as well. This should be First Blood going the way of Jiang Hu, and they get it onto the Queen of Pain of all heroes.
Yeah, that is going to be a very rough start for them now. Quap, it becomes so much harder all of a sudden. Yeah, she's sending out the courier already. She's got the Null Talisman completed. That extra mana regen is going to go a pretty long way. As well as the spell amp, but it's really the 0.6 mana regen you get within your Null Talisman now.
Yeah,
it is absolutely ridiculous. So the dagger spam is going to come out in even fuller force, so she could end up maxing out that Scream of Pain as we talked about earlier. But we're not over yet. Might see a little bit of a scuffle here at the bounty runes.
Looks like, well, we got to get rid of the Harvest Your Bones thing. That's going to be annoying. All right, so they're going to go 3-1 on the runes, as expected, considering they get the First Blood there. Zor on this offlane Timbersaw. So Zor's actually someone I'm fairly familiar with. This guy played in the collegiate leagues. He played for Carleton University. He's been pretty much an all-star offlaner for quite a while.
Was Carleton the guy from Fresh Prince?
Yes, they named a university after him, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a very good show, so I'm not surprised.
Yes. I actually I actually just watched like an episode of Fresh Prince recently. It's just a classic, man.
It is. Now look at this, everybody. You got this in the same screen as me. Player has paused the game. You get to see in the middle of the screen now. Look at that. It doesn't say game paused anymore, Ricky.
But who's player?
Player is player. But
Nice.
now you can see if admin has paused the game or player has paused the game. These are the kind of updates that people have been waiting for.
Wow. You're right. I didn't even notice.
I don't get to see any tips, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I can't scroll through that.
Hold on. Is this an update we asked for? Because now there's no tips.
It looks like the tips are supposed to be there because you have the little arrows on your screen as well.
Oh, I'm gonna get flamed for this. Jerry's gonna get flamed for this cursor. I'm gonna have to have him fix
The
that.
only reason I bring this up is because last time I brought up the Overwatch system being over the hero portraits, and they changed that immediately after our broadcast.
Oh, yeah, I saw
somebody's
that.
watching.
yeah. It was funny too because it recently reappeared in the Dota world. People are like, "Wait a minute, how did this happen?"
Mm-hmm.
The people clipped it and were like, "What? Where did this come from?" It's super old broadcast from when we noticed it, when you
Nothing
noticed it rather.
Nothing slips by me except for hero portraits being beside couriers, apparently.
Yes.
I did not know how to identify whose courier was who.
Whose courier is this? I don't know.
I don't use my eyes. Speaking of, I believe there's a... Oh, no, it's a healing salve and not the Queen of Pain.
Some extra regen heading your way is going to be nice. So Nyx Assassin is going to be pretty annoying, I think, in this off lane. They are going to go ahead and open with 3 heroes here, leave the Brewmaster, and then now they're going to go ahead and TP out the Mirana. But Nyx is an incredibly sturdy hero. I think that's one of the reasons with the recent buffs to him, we're seeing a lot more play on him.
Yeah. Nyx Assassin, tons of HP regen to work with, lots of armor. He does feel a little bit awkward in the laning phase even still, but the buffs that he's got, the Vendetta, the Break being more useful than ever with the heroes inside the game, and that Aghanim Shard is incredibly good, which reduces magic resistance by 20% on heroes that you hit with a Vendetta. I mean, it just allows you to, like, you do 2,000 damage to a hero if you have a Dagon, like, instantly. It is ridiculous.
Okay. I see what you're
I think
saying.
a lot more than that. Yeah. Now, top lane, Timbersaw, he's going to be struggling a little bit up here. He didn't have his first point in reactive armor. He actually had Timber Chain first, so he's taking a lot of damage here. But the creeps have pushed into the tower now. And I think, Athena is stopping them and playing around with, like, the creep wave, stopping the creep CM from pulling probably here. That's exactly what she's going to do. Bottom lane, I haven't really gotten a chance to touch on yet. Anti-Mage, he seems to be doing all right. Doesn't have all the last hits in the world, but Brewmaster does struggle to lane up against the Anti-Mage because he normally likes playing with his Drunken Brawler and his Thunderclap. Up against AM, he's just going to burn down all of his mana, so he's hesitant to get close to the creep wave.
Zor top lane, 13 HP, goes down to 1 more right click there from the Crystal Maiden. A nice kill from them, just applying the pressure before he gets that second point in reactive armor, and he's honestly so close. He was so close to getting it.
Yeah. That's the one thing he needs to really start turning his lane around. Up until then, he's only got like 6 armor to work with. It's less than some heroes would have at level 2 at this point. So he does have it now, and Thena has been doing his best to sit outside of the lane. They did end up getting this pull off just now because Thena was sitting in there, but he pulls it back now. He will take a lot of damage for doing this, though. Thena dropping down to 200 HP.
Yeah, Nyx, like we said, though, great base health regen, though, so he's not going to be too worried. Has Salve Tango as well, so he'll be fine. I'm a little bit unsure of the Orb of Venom. I don't think that was something I really expected as a starting item for the Nyx, though.
No. I don't think it's been paying off a lot either. I mean, it does allow you to kind of chase down the Crystal Maiden if you get that initial hit off, but you're spending a lot of mana getting the Impale to gap that distance to begin with. So, in some way, it's going to waste some money. He might turn it into a Orb of Corrosion later, but then you're investing money that could go into things like a Meteor Hammer. I'm not that huge on this Orb of Venom. We could get a chance to touch on mid lane here. It's going how you would expect. I mean, 14 and 6 CS here on the OD versus the 17 and 6 on the Queen of Pain. I mean, it is one of the better matchups against the Outworld, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad one. That being said, though, it is definitely better than it used to be because the base cast range now just being 650 is huge because it used to be like 200 or 250 or something at level 1, which meant that every time you wanted to go for an Astral play, you would take a dagger. Now you can kind of be a little bit safer with the Astral, which it does seem to be keeping OD like in the lane for the most part, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. And the bad part of it is it doesn't have the AoE damage, so you can't secure CS in the same way that you used to be able to. So you take some good with the bad. The Meteor Hammer build is what people go now, right? He's actually just rushing this before he even gets boots of speed.
Yeah, a lot of people will just pick up this crown into Ring of Health because you just need the base stats, and then from there, you just pretty happy with a little bit of HP regen. No one can really pressure you because you'll have Essence Flux proccing with the changes to the Arcane Orb. So it's really nice.
The prize is mine.
Queen of Pain move it over to grab some of these, or the bounty rune, refill the bottle, sitting at full HP and mana now. We will probably see the Queen of Pain rotate out of lane once she hits her level 6. OD kind of likes to sit somewhat statically. It's changed a little bit from the last patch where he just like spam out his Astral Imprisonment, not really go anywhere, shove in any potential push. I'm more so surprised that I haven't seen any of these teams rotate around the 5-minute rune for these catapults.
It's a really good point, actually. I mean, they do bring the Nyx Assassin to the bottom lane. Ooh, Anti-Mage taking just a ton of damage there from Old White. And honestly, the Mirana should be fine. She has one more leap charge available, so she should be all right. Nice body blocks again coming from Old White as he grabs 2 crits in a row. Very nice.
Not quite done there. In the top lane, we see Timbersaw just diving underneath the tier 1 top tower. He's using this catapult to pressure the tier 1, just tanking up the tower shots, making sure his creeps stay alive, doing everything he can to try and take care of these catapults. But
he should be able to keep this going for a while. I mean, he's got 3 points in the reactive armor, 1 point in the timber chain, so he has the mobility to get away. And the only thing he's really worried about is a rotation from someone else, and there's the someone else, the Queen of Pain. She comes in and helps secure the kill onto that Timbersaw.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why they picked this Queen of Pain, right? She's one of the mid heroes that rotates very easily and has that magical burst to deal with it. Didn't even have to end up committing the Sonic Wave there. He's just sitting way too low. Trying to min-max that on Timbersaw. So if you're level 5, yes, you can dive a little bit, but you're not healing up underneath the tower. That's what you get from level 4.
Bottom lane, some nice fights coming out from both teams. They will swap the supports, but you do get Justice's courier, which had his boots on it, and that feels so bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty feels bad moment. Wraith King got his boots now, his face boots rather. He's got the thing unlocked actually, doesn't he? 102 out of 100 heroes harvested.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking, what's that hero icon at the top?
Yeah, he plays a lot of Wraith King, it would seem, or he's done a lot of friend lobbies being played in other regions.
Really interesting.
I'm not sure. I have a friend who has every tier 2 Arcana skin, and it's because they spent like one weekend with a group of friends, like all farming each other's Arcanas. And I was like, yeah, that's real cool. I'm sure that's how it was intended.
That's probably the case here.
Rotation onto Tay, a nice frostbite into Arrow. They do have the Sonic Wave. They'll commit it pretty much right away, bring her down. TP in from the Nyx, but it's not really going to matter.
Yeah. What does matter here is the fact that this catapult is still up in the mid lane, so they will get some pretty heavy harass off onto this tier 1 tower. They should probably be, trying to clear this as quickly as possible. Yeah, we finally see the fortify and realize what's up here.
She's got illusions to tank it now too, so she's gonna get some really even more value out of the catapult, and it's gonna make it just in time for the next creep wave as well. So you are really gonna take a ton of damage on this tower, which you can't really afford to do.
Astral the catapult, please. Oh no. That tower was sitting at full HP before. It's down to 685. You hate to see it, Ricky.
I mean, unless you're a Jiang Hu fan, then you'd love to see it. Top lane, another rotation coming in from that Mirana CM. Can Zor get brought down to Urn on top of him? But regenerating quite a bit thanks to those reactive armor stacks. Arrow will scout him for a moment. The frostbite comes out, and Storm will get himself another kill.
They have lost the tower up there, but suddenly your game on Timbersaw has fallen off. You're sitting at level 7. You do have the 4 points in reactive armor, but you managed to find a broom handle here on the Wraith King. You have your phase boots. You have 3 points in your crit, and oh my!
Yeah, this was a sick gank. So they ink swelled the anti-mage and then just blinked immediately on top of the brewmaster, and Thana was hiding with an easy impale. And between those 3 heroes, they have more than enough damage. That was a sick gank.
Yeah. And they did need it because Anti-Mage, every last hit he can get is important. He has been contested just a little bit down here in this bottom lane. Hoping to find a neutral item of his own. Wraith King is going to be farming incredibly fast in his jungle. I mean, the Broom Handle is one of the best things he could find for his hero, given his crit every 4 seconds. I think it's almost as good as the Iron Talon at that point.
Yeah, and plus the extra armor is always nice. Wraith King, not a hero that has great base armor or agi gain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, just 1.7 per level. It's a baby gain in the current patch.
He's a baby gainer. Oh, nice kill there from Zor. I
That
didn't
one
think
was
he was
very
actually going to
close.
find it.
Yeah, me either. But he hopped right onto a tree, and that did help us, or just a little bit, unfortunately. That was his last leap charge, though. Bottom lane, they're getting very aggressive down here, but I think he will find the TP out. Oh.
That, you know, and Storm's going to channel that thing to duration because that's what you do.
He didn't, though.
Yeah, he almost
stopped
did.
himself a little bit short.
Hoping no one saw it. Queen of Pain. Under this Invis rune, just kind of stalking the mid lane, waiting for a setup. You do have the 4 points in the Shadow Strike, so you don't have the burst damage like you would normally have with the max Scream of Pain, but Sonic Wave is quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, the Sonic Wave will to burst a lot of these heroes. In fact,
they saw that smoke. Zor was far enough forward to see the edge of the smoke, so they know they're there, and Zor's just standing on the high ground waiting for someone to reveal. The catapult plus the meteor hammer, they are going to go ahead and jump onto the timber saw, but your tower is dead already, and you're going to maybe get the timber saw, you will. On the backside, they do go ahead and throw OD into that Cyclone. They will chase him down. Another Frostbite, but Soulbind and Astral keep himself alive. Inkswell going to stun him up for just a moment, but OD, he ain't making it out of this one, sir. 5 hero rotation does end up panning out. Justice getting chased down as well. Old White sets up an easy arrow to blink forward from P1. Okay, 3 heroes, and they're going to get the return tower.
Yeah, and this will probably turn into a 3K net worth advantage after this. It's just hitting the 12-minute mark right now, but very heads-up play there by heroes on Jiang Hu, or players on Jiang Hu rather. They saw what they were going for there. They knew, okay, they were at the 10-minute mark. They're trying to shove it in the lanes with their catapult. We do have very heavy burst damage. We have great team fight with Brewmaster ultimate. Hell, they didn't even have to commit that Queen of Pain ult, did they?
No.
Oh, so they take 1 for 1 with that mid tower there, and if you give that tower up and allow them to take it without getting anything on your side,
they just double smoked in the mid lane.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, unfortunate. But they are just going to sit behind the Timber Saw, maybe rotate to the top lane again and go for a kill on the Brewmaster since Split is down. And they do have pretty easy setup here with Vendetta into Meteor Hammer, so they're going to go and try and scout it out. But the scan, they knew. Oh my gosh.
They're just reading every play. They're too good. How can you play into a team like this, man? I mean, look at the positioning here of the Marauder. She knows exactly where they are inside the jungle. Doesn't know that Nyx is Vendetta, but he's got like a 6th sense here. Look at this. Move back as soon as he starts approaching. How can you match this guy's skill?
Yeah, that was really sick. That was a really nice play by them.
But very nice positioning. You know, when you know exactly where they are, just continuing to farm confidently, knowing how long it would take them to rotate from their jungle into the mid lane as well, and gets back just before Thana manages to meet him and get that initial hit followed by the Impale.
You're dealing with the Wraith King effect right now, right? Like, you leave bottom lane alone, he just sends skeletons, takes about 1/3 of its the tower HP down in that process while just farming the jungle. I mean, he's got the Midas working towards that armlet. Anti-Mage does have the Battle Fury, right? So Anti-Mage will probably pull away here in the next few minutes, but Wraith King is going to be ready to fight, and that's the difference.
Yeah. The Anti-Mage, thankfully did end up getting that. Possessed Mask helps Anti-Mage farm up Ancient stacks as well without taking too much damage. But Wraith King will be able to farm. On Anti-Mage, you generally need your Battlefield, your Manta Style, and then 1 more item before you're that confident. Just because, your HP is so low. You gain, 1.3 strength per level. I believe that's I think that's the lowest in the game.
Whose is?
I know Anti-Mage, 1.3 strength per level.
Oh, I didn't even realize the strength gain was that low on Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
It might be the same as Ricky's. I think Ricky's is also 1.3.
Yeah. I know Ricky's agility is like 1.4, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. All of his stat growths are very bad.
But yeah, you want a couple of items on Anti-Mage before you're really ready to fight, especially against, like pure damage burst from the Queen of Pain.
All right, bottom lane. Zor's gonna be able to get the first life of the Wraith King and protect the tower for the time being. So not that bad. I mean, he was just under the cover of that Invis rune. It looks like they still are considering going for the tower, but You might want to think twice as reinforcements are coming to the bot lane.
Shadows, take us.
In fact,
Moonlight
they're
Shadow?
thinking 3 times. They decide they want to go back in.
Screw it. You know, let's try and kill the Timbersaw. He's got Hood of Defiance, 17 stack wand. It's not going to be an easy kill by any means, but they will see them under the tower there. They're just going to blink in, commit everything on top of them, even the freezing field. It's going to be Storm that picks him up. Okay. I guess enough magic damage. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's mostly magic. Like I think almost 1100 and just I think 750 physical there. They do take the bottom tier 2 tower. Again, opens up shrines like we talked about at the time. And the anti-mage, he's going to struggle to keep up at this rate. It can't be just him with all the net worth on his team, and they're doing a pretty good job of shutting down the Timbersaw. He is 1 in 5.
Yeah, Timbersaw has not had a great time, and this was a 9th pick Timbersaw.
Yeah. I mean, you knew exactly what you're playing, and I thought it was a great pick, you know? He did great against the Brewmaster. It's great against the Brewmaster. It's great against the Wraith King, but he got picked off at the start, and I think that slowed down his entire game and the tempo just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think right now the OD is not pulling its weight really either, right? Like, definitely struggled in the mid lane. It's currently 0 and 3, whereas the Queen of Pain is over 1,000 net worth ahead. You smoke up once more here, trying to make another rotation, find someone, but they're not going to connect. I mean, they're back out of the top lane. No one here to defend the tier 2 tower. And this is just what we saw like last time, right? Rinse and repeat. They're playing the map exactly where they need to be playing. Jiang Hu just definitely kind of reading Felt here very well.
Yeah, and part of that comes from, you know, their vision. They've got wards up covering the entire jungle. They know if they're not farming, then they're going for a gank. Well, you probably with smoke.
Oh, managed to break that Timber Chain in the mid lane, sets up an arrow, but you're gonna go ahead and even commit the Primal Split, and I think Zor, he's got a lot of reactive armor stacks, but he cannot survive the magic damage. It's just too much.
No, even this Hood of Defiance doesn't feel like enough. He might need to go double hood this game. He's just getting brought down again and again by this very heavy magical burst. They're not done yet, though.
Ooh. Well, Beta's done.
Yeah, it's a squash bug if I've ever seen one, and they want to go for more. P1, Blink up, or Blink is still on cooldown, max it out last here. Only 2 points in it, so it does look like Justice will get away.
The crits that are coming out from this Armlet Wraith King are just doing so much work. I mean, we see the Timbersaw normally, you know, pretty darn tanky, had max reactive armor stacks, and he still took like 1,400 damage from the Wraith King.
Yeah, and the rest of it was magical from his team. But this Wraith King is incredibly scary. I mean, he's had an amazing game. His team keeps stealing kills from him, though. He's 1-0 and 8.
You know, it's just support Wraith King, right? I mean, he still shows up in pubs occasionally.
Yeah, come on, guys. All right, look at this. Teamwork ancient farming here with the Crystal Maiden, thanks to that newly reduced magical resistance on these ancients.
Oh, that's
not
nice.
bad. Yeah.
Dude, he's just rushing AC. I love this build. He's going to do so much damage.
Yeah, he is. I'm not sure if he's going to, at 20 minutes, he's going to go out of his way and pick up that Aghanim Shard to reduce... Ooh.
Yeah, Old White gets caught top lane. Just an Astral into Meteor Hammer plus Anti-Mage is really all you need.
Yeah. The Anti-Mage has been having a pretty good game, you know, regardless of his team not. I was about to touch on that one. I'm not sure if anything's about to go with the 1,400 gold for the Aghanim Shard just to counter the Anti-Mage. You don't need the level 20 for the no reincarnate mana cost anymore for anybody who's watching that has been keeping up with the patch. And yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. So he's got it queued up right now, stops his AC. It doesn't want to give the Anti-Mage any chance to come back in this game because a kill on this Wraith King sitting at 10,000 net worth would be very big.
OD also steals maximum mana, so it just makes it that much easier for the Anti-Mage to burn through his mana pool that fast. So, or I guess Anti-Mage is percentage based now too, huh?
Yeah,
mana burn per hit
mana
plus mana plus max. Okay, so yeah, it still matters. Like a Manta, if you get like Astraled and then hit by 3 Anti-Mages, you have 0 mana. Very cool.
So he's got to wait another 20 seconds here, and I think it's probably when he's more confident to really take the fight into them. Oh no.
The smoke immediately popped. They're going to try and turn this, and it looks like a nice soul bind into the anti-mage, and a double mana void just blows up CM and Quap. Oh my god. Top lane, they're also looking for the Wraith King. He doesn't have that shard yet. The mana burn, it's there. This is a huge kill. He pops the wand, but it doesn't matter. They get 3.
Just like that. Turning the game around. Not the anti-mages online. It was just a couple of seconds before the Wraith King had... I think he had the Aghanim shard. He did. He had it flying out to him. He has it completed now. He didn't get that ult off. I missed that
so
one.
So sad. Yeah.
That double mana void was absolutely sick, though. Ended up doing like 750 damage to both the Queen of Pain and the Crystal Maiden. So that won a very huge combo. And just like that, the net worth lead completely turns on its head.
Anti-Mage was now suddenly almost 3,000 ahead of the Wraith King, working towards that Eye of Scotty, which is a fantastic Eye of Scotty game.
Yeah,
You kind of just want health, right? Isn't that what we talked about? Like, Anti-Mage doesn't really feel threatened as this game goes on. I mean, the only real thing you have to worry about is just getting clicked by the Wraith King, but I think a late game Anti-Mage is a little bit scarier.
Yeah, you have the health and you have a little bit of rundown potential. Both of them are important. I mean, you can chase the Wraith King a little bit easier. It also lets you fight into him. Wraith King struggles to stand his ground the same way underneath that the slow, because he doesn't have the lifesteal from Vampiric Spirit anymore. So Scotty does a number of things very well, and that's what makes it a very good game for it here.
They're smoked up in the mid lane. Thana just trying to find someone on the backside. He's about to walk into a sentry, but he's just outside of it, luckily for him.
Mid lane here. Everyone, playing very close to each other. I think you're feeling a bit more confidence here on Felt after that last team fight going your way. But once this AC finishes up on Wraith King, I'm not sure that they're going to be able to anymore. I mean, it is very scary. They had the absolute best timing for that last team fight there on Felt.
Yeah.
I think any other circumstances, like another 30 seconds from that happening, suddenly the fight wouldn't have gone your way. Wraith King's positioning would have been different. He would have had that Aghanim shard completed. You would have just fallen apart there. And now they're looking for revenge here, and they might just find justice.
Oh, Zor just goes right up into him, and just as he gets a soul bind off, be able to give him a little bit of space. The Lotus Orb protecting Zor for now. The team closing in on the side of Felt on the backside. He finds the Queen of Pain, burns so much of her mana. Unable to find the kill, though, as he will just disengage. I mean, of any hero to walk into the gank, I guess the Timbersaw is not a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's gone full tank. He's just got Lotus Orb put a Defiance. The Grimstroke happening to be there as well, using that Ink Spell on him, getting that full stun duration off onto the two heroes sitting on top of him, and then Timber chains away immediately afterwards. That's a very nice escape, best case scenario for them. So I gotta say, Felt are playing this one very nice. They knew the perfect timing earlier, and they had the heroes set up in very nice positions in order to defend from that smoke gank.
So Anti-Mage ended up doubling back for a Basher. Still has the Eye of Scotty queued. And honestly, that's what did so much of the damage to the Queen of Pain. It's the reason she almost died there solo. If he gets that first hit bash with the Manta, I mean, most of these heroes are probably just going to die to that.
Yeah, I still think that going the Eye of Scotty next is better than the Abyssal Blade, though. It will allow you to stand on top of heroes and fight them with the Skull Basher. A bit easier, but Abyssal Blade is a very heavy investment, and you need a little bit more HP so you don't get bursted down right now.
Thana's been found by Old White. Gonna try and TP out, but Mirana just close enough to set up a very easy arrow, and they're not gonna worry too much about it.
They thought about using that Primal Split as anti-mage, thought about coming back in there, but too many heroes. You don't want to take that fight without Nyx Assassin. You might as well wait right now. Still, keeping the game relatively even. Now, you do want to aim for that 28 to 35 minute timing on anti. Oh, no.
They found the Wraith King. He does have the reincarnation shard, so he's not in as much trouble. Will be able to blink himself out for the moment. Does need to be careful, though, as Storm is close by. Still pump faking on that blink. Will be able to disengage. So looking for Zor now. Does have that Lotus Orb. Will reflect that dagger out over to the Queen of Pain. They just disengage, man. They're just buying time.
Yeah, And the time is what they need right now for this anti-mage to get that Eye of Scotty, right? Once he has that complete, once he has that Abyssal Blade, I think they're pretty much good. No, that's one more item wouldn't hurt after that, but you don't want the game to go too long here. Again, I was just about to touch on that before that fight. The 28 to 35 minute timing is what you want in AM. She's not necessarily a stronger carry than other people. Oh no, the dust!
Oh, I mean, they had this sentry that's been here for a while, so kind of just positioning around that. Really well played there by Jiang Hu, because they know the Nyx is gonna be scouting, right?
Yeah. Sentry there.
All right,
That's
Astral into a nice Meteor Hammer, and Wraith King, he's out of mana. He will reincarnate regardless, but Arrow not going to connect. Does get caught by a creep on the backside. Timbersaw, a massive Sonic Wave catching onto 3, but Timbersaw, he's still tanky. And now Tay, he just drops the hammer. Not going to finish anyone off. It's going to be the Timbersaw so far as the only casualty in the fight.
So not a win there for Felt, but they did manage to take down Wraith King when he was just 60 XP away from hitting level 18 and getting that 3rd point in Reincarnate. So it will be on cooldown for a pretty long time there. That's a small victory, if nothing else.
Well, they're going to go into Roche as they know, Timbersaw's dead. They have no Soulbind. BKB was committed as well on the OD, and this is going to be a very quick Roche. I mean, this newly finished AC, the Vlad's also just picked up on the Brewmaster. That's it.
Yeah, this is one of the big times they're waiting for, this Assault Cross. The Blink Digger on the Wraith King is going to be a fairly big one as well. If you can get on top of either the Outworld or the Grimstroke on the back line, the game becomes much easier. Oh, he is almost at his 4 staff now on Grimstroke. Clearing up, saving his pennies, getting every creep camp he can. His team's just leaving him scraps at the moment. The Philosopher's Stone does help, though.
It does, yeah, that is true.
It becomes a little bit harder for the Wraith King, but still not too difficult once he has this Blink Dagger. The next item after that is when Wraith King's really going to start to pop off. AM, Scotty almost completed. This was the big one for them, right? Getting this and then maybe the Abyssal Blade afterwards will allow them to blink on top of the Queen of Pain, blow her up, and allow you to just constantly chase her down.
Yeah, both teams just got a Titan Sliver as well, which is pretty interesting. So let's take a look at the neutrals here as we have tier 3s dropping. Paladin Sword for the Anti-Mage, very happy about that. And an Enchanted Quiver, which I'm surprised the Wraith King's not holding, but I guess he'll be happy with the Titan Sliver. So nothing to be too upset about.
Yeah. The question is if Thana finds an Enchanted Quiver. It is very broken on Nyx Assassin, especially with that.
So good.
I think like Dagon 5 and Enchanted Quiver, you can do like 3,000 plus burst damage to heroes in less than a second.
Well, that's pretty cool. Actually, an Elven Tunic drops there for the Wraith King. He's going to take that instead. The 16% evasion, a little bit of bonus move speed and attack speed. I love this item. This is a great item. Good on most heroes in the game.
Yeah. Gives
Neko
the extra movement
walking
speed.
in, gonna find Zor here, but this may not be the target you want to jump on. They have the damage. It doesn't matter. 0 active rearmor stacks. He was not ready for that as they just burst him down.
Yeah, if you can find the Timbersaw by himself, the extra armor that he gets just from his awful agility growth rate and his Lotus Orb isn't enough to survive this Wraith King, who, now is more than happy to shove in the last of these tier 2 towers, going for his tier 2 mid. I'm not sure they'll push high ground after this, given the fact that everyone else is running back now. I think that they're worried about the split push coming out from Anti-Mage, but...
You were watching that, right?
Yeah.
Woo! That was close.
They didn't know that he was there, didn't have the night vision. You'd think that the Priestess of the Moon would have a little bit more vision during the night. Given the fact there's a giant moon as like the symbol of night for this game behind her in a hero portrait.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You see.
That's clearly the sun at night. Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, Anti-Mage. Finds Crystal Maiden, but she's protected by a Glimmer Cape. Survives on just a sliver of HP.
AM is feeling a little bit less confident at this point now, it seems like to me. In fact, playing it very close. Arrow comes out. I think it actually scouts out Thana there.
So Wraith King has his blink and now a basher to boot. So I mean, he's managed to stay pretty much neck and neck with this anti-mage, which is pretty surprising, right? Normally, anti-mage is one of those heroes that you don't have the ability to keep up with in net worth, and I mean, it's been that pretty much 3,000 gap ever since that first fight. Top lane, they're looking for the Queen of Pain, but I don't know if they really want to commit. Yeah, anti-mage is pretty content farming, it seems.
Yeah, I think that Thana should have gone in for that one, but you only have 1 point in the spike carapace, so it would have been kind of difficult setting it up or predicting that Scream of Pain to set up into his Impale afterwards. AM definitely could have blown her up, though.
Yeah.
So, I guess they're just trying to deal with this AM split push however they can. It's a real thorn in their side right now because they would like to just shove things down, especially with this DD rune. Can they find Zero? They do.
Oh, baby. Look at the damage into an arrow. A convenient bash to set it up as Neko is going to grab himself another kill and onto the Timbersaw. A great find.
That was like a 11,060 crit. Not bad.
11,000.
1,100.
Oh, my God. Someone needs to inform Valve.
It's broken. Neph's brain, that is. Now, Nyx Assassin is playing very close to the anti-mage, which is interesting to me. I think the two of them together would be able to set up for a kill on the Queen of Pain, and that's who they're going to have, counter push these lanes out. The AM by himself, I don't think would be able to chase her down now that she's got a BKB.
He has Abyssal, though. So,
ooh.
You know, maybe that is all you need.
Now, this
I mean,
this
he's
does
gonna go
change
for
things
this.
a little bit. Oh no!
They're gonna go for the brew, right? There's no way they just let him get away. Yeah, there it is, an easy kill here for them. Even commits the Abyssal. Mana Void will finish him off. You know, Brewmaster not a ton of mana, so it doesn't do a lot of damage with the Mana Void there. But I mean, that's an easy kill anytime someone wants to show up there.
I think they only had 4 stick charges. There's no way that he's going to get out of that one. If you have a full stick, you can just pop that one and then ultimate and then walk away afterwards. That's you getting closer to your Aghanim Scepter here on the Brewmaster, which I think is another big tool they need to actually end this game.
So, do you need the Aghanim Scepter on the Primal Split to be able to cancel it onto a specific Brewling?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, the Aghanim is what provides that as well.
Yeah, you need that. Then you have the 2 charges as well. So the uptime on that is absolutely insane. You can't really say, okay, Brewmaster ult's down. We can just play around that. No, they like the downtime between fights and having 2 charges at that makes such a huge difference. And it makes it so much harder to take fights into the Brewmaster.
They're smoked up here. Thana going to try and scout them out. Instead, just snags a quick courier. That is the Vanguard. So that was the completed Abyssal Blade for that Wraith King.
That's another 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Wait for that one now. And if luck is on the side of Felt here, Roche could respawn in the next minute here. Not having your Abyssal Blade for a potential fight around the Roche pit is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Brewmaster almost to his Ags. Just about 600 gold away. Oh, and we got to pause.
And it looks like we're still bugged out. I can't see my tips. Can I ping them? I cannot.
I cannot either. Mine just goes right through.
Yeah. We're still in a beta, though. We need to work out some of these. My question is how I'm going to know how to play this game if I don't have the tips to fall back on them.
Oh, Anti-Mage finds the Queen of Pain, just uses the Abyssal. She gets the BKB off in time. They're going to turn around onto the Anti-Mage. He's already committed the Manta Style. The Silence doing so much work. A Yule's into a nice Sonic Wave, but she survives. I think the Yule's kept the Anti-Mage alive there.
That was Marana's Yule's, and yes, it did.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead and hit him with that knife. Oh, they don't pull him down in time for the arrow combination, and she gets out once again. Oh,
that is a very big misplay there by the Marana using that Yule's onto him. He still had another 2.5 seconds of silence left when he used that Yule's on him.
I think maybe they were going for like a Yule's into arrow, but yeah, there's the whoops from the Marana. My bad,
yeah,
she says.
His team is probably giving him a lot of shit right now.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty big oversight. I mean, the anti-mage finding that kill there is massive. And instead, they're going to be able to find Old White as he doesn't have that Aghanim Scepter for that second shard of that Primal Split. And nice connection there on that Timber Chain into that Ink Swell. And they should be able to finish him off, and they do. Tay's going to be the one that grabs that kill.
Yeah, and the guy continuing to struggle to get that egg. Spent the last, I think, 2-3 minutes here farming up that 500, 600 gold.
Blade once again committed this time for the Mirana, and Tay just goes ahead and drops the Sanity's Eclipse to finish it off instead. Didn't want to risk her getting a double leap away, I suppose, and with Roshan respawning, that's pretty worth it.
Yeah, been the last several minutes just trying to claw back into this one after, you know, taking that pretty bad fight inside the jungle, all suddenly lost, and there's no way you can test Roche this way, is there?
No,
and
not at all.
How do you bring down anti-mage twice now? This is going to be a hell of a struggle. I mean, we're talking about it'd be pretty lucky if Roshan got a faster respawn and Wraith King didn't have his Abyssal Blade to take any potential fight. Well, you don't have Abyssal Blade, and you're down 2 heroes here.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe justify giving the Aegis to someone else, but I think it's probably just best on the anti-mage. Give the cheese over to, like, Zor or Tay. It doesn't really matter which one of them. Probably Zor since he's frontlining. He's almost got Guardian Greaves as well, which is a big bonus for him, not having to commit that Lotus Orb, you know, on the first sign of damage.
Yeah. Next assassin ends up just getting squashed yet again by the king. He's almost level 25. And Old White, you know, finally getting a couple of creep cans. He's working on this Aghanim Scepter for so long here, Ricky. Just let him win.
He's got the Quickening Charm as well, you know. Once he has it, it makes it just that much better. And there it is, baby. The money for his Aghanim Scepter. He's going to be very happy to pick that one up. I doubt he saves buyback, right?
No, not after waiting for this long. You wait no longer. So we're almost 37 minutes into the game, by the way. Tier 4 neutral items about to spawn.
Anti-Mage bought a heart. The Butterfly was queued up for a while and just decided, you know, screw it, I'm going to buy a Heart of Tarask. It's one of those things where we said health, right? That's the secret for the Anti-Mage this game.
Yeah, health is secret. As long as you can't get bursted down, it does mess with his fighting potential a little bit. I don't think anybody other than the Wraith King is able to fight into him, but it makes it even harder to fight into the Wraith King when you go the Heart. He's just going to lifesteal off of you and fill his HP back up. You're definitely on an even bigger timing now, though, since you have decided to go for this particular build.
Yeah, I agree. It does definitely slow down the Anti-Mage's kind of fighting potential, and Illusionist Cape gonna just make that pretty even again. Bottom lane, Nyx gets found by Neko, and a very easy kill for him.
Illusionist Cape down, by the way. Meteor Hammer drop of the tower is fortified. Someone's gonna have to go back to defend this. They can't let them do this here.
I mean, Wraith King is here, but yeah, he does manage to take down the catapult. They do take a decent chunk of tower damage, though, and it's kind of a war of attrition here as the game is dead even. I mean, this game has been back and forth, but Jiang Hu was the only team that really had an advantage at any point in this game, and it was only a few thousand gold.
Yeah. I'm not sure who's going to win this. I mean, looking at the drafts alone, I think I preferred what they had going on here on Felt, but you know, Jiang Hu, they won the lanes pretty hard. That's not really a secret, but then they kept on managing to bring it back with these, you know, these reads, these favorable team fights. I guess Brewmaster not having the best time here. And because of that, it's felt very even. It feels like each of these teams do something a little bit better than the other, but I've got absolutely no idea who I think is going to win at this point, which is very rare for me. I normally favor one side or the other.
You need to check out Justice's items on this Grimstroke in a moment. Zor gets caught out. A nice Astral. Tay just pops that BKB, gonna do what he can to try and turn this around, and there's the Inkswell illusion. It's just gonna start chewing through these enemy heroes, and Abyssal comes in from Anti-Mage. A massive Mana Void just takes down the Mirana. First life down on the Wraith King, but Anti-Mage still has his Aegis sitting pretty. He will get the blink on out, but you've lost the Queen of Pain. Storm falling low as well, and Old White gonna try and go for that second split, but it's not gonna happen. happen as Justice just gets this kill, dude. This Wraith King illusion. Oh my lord.
Yeah, that one did 2,050 damage to this Queen of Pain. Almost single-handedly brought him down. This Grimstroke just did crazy things with this Aghanim Scepter, that Dark Portrait. I have not seen it pop off quite like that in a competitive game before.
It's 150% outgoing damage. It's magic immune and lasts 25 seconds. And when you have a Wraith King, that's scary. Those are all really good stats to have as a Wraith King. Yeah, he just ran it at the Queen of Pain the whole fight. Nice overwhelming blink there coming in from Neko, and he's going to turn that one around, find himself... Oh, maybe not. Justice with the Force Staff away. The Inkswell stun lasted, and he's just going to take himself another Wraith King illusion.
He doesn't want anything to do with this.
I mean, mid lane, you just lost your lane of barracks.
It's turned around just like that. All he needed was that Dark Portrait, it seems. Queen of Pain not up for another 15 seconds. She's not willing to spend the buyback.
And he's just pushing bottom with the Dark Portrait. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can commit for the two. This Aegis expiring in just a couple of seconds. Old White goes ahead and gets that first primal split, but Tay, he's on the run. Does have BKB, can just TP out if he wants, but gonna eat the first stun. Arrow off the mark, overwhelming blink on in from Neko, and there's gonna be a Sonic Wave in 10. They don't even need it. On the backside, they do catch Anti-Mage with that Cyclone. They drop him right down, but protected by that counter spell, gets the blink away. It doesn't look like Anti-Mage is in any trouble at all, and instead he goes back in with the Abyssal and just finishes off the Crystal Maiden. You lose the Timber Saw on the side. So much damage coming in from the Wraith King, but Justice is here.
While all this was happening, Anti-Mage's illusionary cape illusion actually took down the ranged barracks in the top lane, finishing that one off.
And look at bottom, double catapult working on the tier 2, and Anti-Mage has shown up. Just gonna get himself another tower. This is Felt playing so fast these last few minutes.
And I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought they would start to fall off at this point, but the Anti-Mage, he's impossible for them to bring down. It feels like every time he goes for him here on the Wraith King, this team just dies on the back line. They're out playing them like crazy. They're kiting them around in these team fights.
Yeah, they're doing so well, and again, just buying more time as these bottom lane. I mean, granted, the tier 3 tower will survive this, but it is now an exposed tier 3. All lanes of barracks are now available, so if you take one bad fight, it might be over. If you lose one more bad fight here on the side of Jiang Hu.
Yeah. I will say that, I mean, they played pretty good here in Jiang Hu. They managed to bring down this OD 100-0, even though he had this cheese. They've been tanking up on all these Felt heroes as well. They just know that they don't have the burst outside of this Wraith King. It's only him that's really able to bring people down. He's got the Divine Rapier.
I was going to say, you saw that right? I mean, you need it. It is the play, but that's more damage for Grimstroke.
I don't think the illusions get the benefits of just normal added damage, though. Illusions do work a little bit weird like that. They've decided to carry over the mechanics from Warcraft 3.
Oh, that's right. Does it get True Strike, though?
I believe it will get the True Strike effect, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm not sure this Divine Rapier is going to be enough. It is the item they need. This is absolutely the correct play here by the Wraith King, but it might be just a little bit too late. Because they're just ignoring the Wraith King in these team fights, right? He doesn't do enough to be enough threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have BKBs. They have the ability to kite around in these fights. He can't burst down the Anti-Mage. It's not easy for him to blow up a single target. And the Divine Rapier may give him that, which is nice. The Overwhelming Blink is a very, very expensive item, right? And you have to wonder if it's even worth it.
The answer is no. I don't think it's worth it, man. The 25 tank, what it gives you, I think the Swift Blink is an excellent item after they buffed it a little bit.
Dude, Arcane Blink is still broken.
Yeah, Arcane Blink is very good.
Oh, in the base, you lose the Mirana. Another Abyssal Blade jump in, and they cannot find the correct Anti-Mage. There's just 3 illusions here.
Yeah,
beating down your base.
Is complete, by the way. Sold the Mines to end up finishing that one off.
Okay, I think that's the correct play.
Yeah. Needs to free up a slot for that one anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And this is it is definitely starting to go the way of Radiant, though. No really good tier 4 neutral item for the Wraith King to take either, which is a little bit disappointing.
So Anti-Mage has a DD rune, no boots, just all 6 slots full with damage items. Looking to find someone. All right, nice stun there. They're looking for on the backside. Tay goes in, but the Anti-Mage just an immediate Abyssal Blade stun onto the Brewmaster. He's silenced as well. Not going to be able to make it out, but does have the buyback. OD stunned up. BKB has expired, but he has the cheese. Now they're going to try and turn it around, take down Wraith King's first life. A nice impale, and that is going to do it. Everyone on the side of Feld just sitting so pretty, but Zor finally starting to lose some HP. Flickers, is it going to be enough? He's going to survive. 60 HP. He's out. Anti-Mage trying to take it up. A great Astral there to keep him alive, and Wraith King is down. Abyssal Blade, or I'm sorry, Divine Rapier on the deck. It doesn't seem to matter as every single hero on Felt survive the engagement, and they're going to look for the base now as it is tier 4s exposed. Nothing left in the tank here for the side of Jiang Hu.
And there's nothing they're able to do. Just freshly bought the Divine Rapier. Even though they picked it up, there's no buyback available, and that is if they GG out. The Wraith King just not able to get his hands onto anybody for long enough. The Anti-Mage way too tanky with this build that he's got going on. The Heart of Tarask, the Eye of Scotty. I mean, you got a couple of whacks off onto him, but it wasn't enough. The Divine Rapier just came out too late. Felt playing absolutely amazing this game, bringing it back for what looked like it was going to be a pretty clean strategic victory for Jiang Hu.
Yeah, this was a sick first game of the day. Honestly, I'm so happy to see these teams performing well and giving us some great Dota to start off today. And honestly, Anti-Mage 609, we saw him get a really good timed Battle Fury and just kind of take off. And it really felt I'm gonna be doing this constantly. It really seemed like Felt played their timings just better this game, right? It seemed like every time that they picked up a new item or that they like connected on a kill, like it turned into something as far as an objective. Like Roshan both times as well, or I'm sorry, the second time, and then also just into multiple towers or high ground. So it was just an incredible game from them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the EXP, the net worth, the win probability on these graphs here, you can just see like all of these advantages were very hard fought for Jiang Hu. Great map movements, and then Felt they have these single moments where they managed to bring it back or take very good fights, which just brought things in their favor overwhelmingly. I think the Aghanim Scepter pick up by Justice, that was definitely worth going out of your way for. It did so much work in the team fight against Queen of Pain. They didn't really know how to deal with it.
Yeah, that was sick. A really great game number 1. I'm super excited to see game number 2. We're going to a short break, everybody, so stay tuned. We got more NA DPC coming up in just a moment. We'll see you in a sec.